Hi guys, Shelley Fitzgerald with Sew Shelley Quilts. I want to show you what a differential feed does on an overlocker. So I am at the Quilting Bee in the Spokane Valley, and they've been so nice to let me come over and borrow their beautiful L460. This is a Bernina overlock machine. And do you see, I've got some scraps of a nice stretchy knit, and it's waving. And it's got a big wave going along. And that's what your differential feed will fix. So let me fix it, and then I'll show you how that actually worked. So here is the differential feed knob right here at the bottom. And it's at 1. That's at neutral. And so I'm going to talk about that as if it were going 10 miles an hour, both the front feed dog and the back feed dog, and I'll show you that in just a second. And I need for this to stretch a little bit. I mean to pucker up and not stretch. It was stretching it a little bit to get those waves. So I need it to have the front feed dog push that fabric in a little bit faster. So I'm going to move this just a smidge, and I'm going to go to about halfway between 1 and 1.5. This will go clear up to 2, and we'll do that when we gather later. But I'm going to go just a little bit faster. Now, when I take the fabric out and show you the feed dogs, what I'm doing is changing the speed on the front feed dog. And so there's 2 sets, and they work independent of each other. So here we go. And now I'm going to run this fabric through. And it's coming out just as flat as can be at the back. Do you see that? There is no more wave. It's all gone. And that's because of the way it ran. So I'm going to show you where those feed dogs are and how that works. Just a minute. All right, so I laid the fabric out, and here's the difference. You see this bump, bump, bump? And that was when that differential feed was at 1. And so it was kind of stretching the fabric when it went through. And immediately when I changed the differential feed, look how flat it is. Now if you're hemming your husband's golf shirt, he's going to be very glad to not have a ruffly hem on that. He's going to be so thrilled that he's got flat. So what I want you to see, I'm going to raise the presser foot. I'm going to use this little knob at the back. Drop the foot off. We'll talk more about that later. And now you can see that there are 2 sets of feed dogs. There's one at the back and one at the front. And Sandra Swick, Galloping Horse Sewing, is here to help me. Thank you, Sandra. So there's 2 feed dogs. This one is the one that changes the speed when you use your differential feed. So when it's at 1, think of 2 cars driving, and they're both going 10 miles an hour, exactly the same. If I speed this one up to 2.0, I like to think of this as going 20 miles an hour, and that's still going 10. So it's speeding it up and going faster than the one behind. So if something had stretched, then you would be able to move it in quicker, or in a minute when we gather, that's what's going to happen. If instead I move this to 0.07, this always stays at 1, no matter what, 10 miles an hour. So think if you were driving a car and this one's only going 7 miles an hour. This one would be going much slower than the front one. So you can speed up and slow down this front feed dog with a differential feed. And that is a brilliant tool to have. This is Shelley with Sew Shelley Quilts.